Welcome to today's class, which is the lecture 6, and today's topic is arrays. We will be covering both the single and multidimensional arrays. So before we jump into array, let's look at a problem. So it says read 100 numbers, compute their average, and find out how many numbers are above the average. So if we are asked to solve this problem, let's solve it one by one. So first it says read 100 numbers and compute their average. So let's solve first this problem. Read 100 numbers and compute their average. So let's look at, let's go here. We already have our input, the scanner object, and since we need to input 100 numbers, let's have a for loop. So I equals 0, I less than 100, and I plus plus. Inside we have to first take the input I. So int number equal input dot next int. We need to accumulate it somewhere, so let's declare int sum equal 0. So sum plus equal number, and then at the end we can have our average. So double average equal sum divided by 100.0. If we don't give 100.0, then we will end up with only the integer part and not the whole fraction numbers. So if we now run this, we can actually by this we are taking 100 inputs, and every time we take an input we accumulate it with the sum, and finally we divide the sum by 100. That's the total number of numbers. So this way we get the average. So until now we don't need to store any numbers or any inputs, but let's now look at the next portion, which says find out how many numbers are above the average. So after we get this average, we need to again look at those input numbers and decide how we can or which one is greater than the average one. That means we need to now store the 100 values we are taking as input. So from this we have a need for storage of more than a huge number of values of the same type, and thus come the need for arrays. So what is an array? So array is a data structure that represents a collection of the same types of data. That data type can be integer, double, or string, or any type of other objects, but it's a collection of the same type of data. So we can look at this example here. There are 10 double data. So altogether they are put in an array. So in the memory, when we are declaring an array, the memory spaces will be allocated in consecutive location. So this is an array, and we are going to now see the detail of how we can declare, create, and manipulate the contents of arrays.